going to Japan for the first time, I had been so nervous on the plane there that I couldn't even sleep. And I was just, tense and, freaking out thinking about, what it would be like. And I got there, everything was so clean. I was shocked because there's, tons of people, but there's not any garbage anywhere. The mission president and the assistants, they picked us up and we just went directly to the mission home. And usually what they have us do is just, go and talk to people, dendo, and which means like to proselyte, talk to people on the way to the mission home. But because we were the biggest group of missionaries that had come to our mission, it was too many people to bombard the train in Japan. And so we went directly there. That night we met the mission president, and it was just awesome. And so that next morning we went to the church that's by our mission home, and we got our companions. They told us about the areas, and I was like, oh, I really want to go to Nagano. And I don't know why, but I felt so drawn to it. And then, of course, I got called to Nagano. My companion, she was half Japanese, and I'm 5'10", and I weigh a lot more than my companion, but she was like this big and 88 pounds. And so she was just really little, and oh my gosh, I loved her so much. And so I got my companion, and we went directly to Nagano, and it was like a 4-hour bullet train. So, I mean, we were so tired, and this long plane ride, we just started talking about the people that are in our area. There weren't a whole lot of people that were progressing or that had much potential, but, there are lots of PIs and people that, seemed really awesome. And so I was just so excited. We met the ward mission leader and the bishop, and when we were talking to them, I had no idea what they were saying. I was so tired, like I've never been more tired in my life, and I was just like nodding and nodding. And one thing that shocked me is like when we were in there in the lesson, like Japanese people, whatever you say to them, they always go and like confirm everything you say. So I was just like, what are these people doing? Like, this is so weird. And they're really expressive, and of course I grew to be like that. But when I first got there, that really surprised me. And yeah, I mean, the first week I just was so shocked by the people, and I mean, I stuck out like a sore thumb there, and I didn't really feel like I fit in because I'm just this, tall American girl. And it was fun. The Nagano, it's kind of more of a countryside area, so they didn't see as many gaijin, like foreigners, as, some of the city areas. And that was really fun. So we would just, go up to people, and a lot of times we'd just talk to them about English class, or I honestly didn't know any Japanese, but I was like, if I can just show God that I trust him, I'll mess up, I'll, make mistakes and just keep trying. And I think that really helped my mission a lot, because I wasn't afraid to make mistakes, and like I just went and talked to people, even if I could just say like, hey, I'm a missionary, or like, I'm from America. I thought that was awesome. And so I had a lot of fun. Me and my companion, we had so much fun just kind of like meeting people and talking to people. But it was so overwhelming, and the jet lag continued like all week. I think it took me a long time to get used to it, but you just get used to being tired, and it was fun. A lot of times they would come up and say like, "Hello," or like, try and talk to me, or say "Gaijin," which means like foreigner. And so they, I feel like I got a lot of like weird looks when I was there, and everyone was just staring at me, especially me and my little companion. Like, I just towered over her. And yeah, I was asked how tall I was like all the time. But
and when I got to my first area, I remember, well, when I landed in Japan, all the way to when I got to my first area, it was kind of overcast and rainy. And I'd heard a lot before my mission that it was going to be rainy in Japan, and there was going to be a lot of rain. So when I got there and it was overcast and it was raining, and I went to my area and it was raining for several days, I just kind of buckled down, and I was like, okay, 2 years, here we come. I'm going to survive 2 years in the rain. I'm never going to see the sun for 2 more years. Uh-oh, what am I going to do, type of thing. And then when the sun actually came up on like the 4th day of my first week, I just remember being so excited. I was like, the sky's blue, I'm alive, I don't have to live for 2 years in a cloud. And I remember being excited, but also like kind of shocked that the sun rose at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I remember the first day the sun actually came up, it came right through a giant window that crossed like one of our walls, and it's as bright as noonday almost at 4 a.m. And I woke up and I looked around and I was like, why am I still in bed? And I jumped up and I was running all over the place trying to get ready. I thought I'd slept in, and then I found my iPad and looked at the time and it said that it was 4:30, and I was like, what? 4:30? And then I had to take a couple pictures of the sunrise because of how high it was. It looked like it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. But just going to Japan, the first several weeks was just constant new experiences, and I don't know how to describe it other than it just kind of, I like got to the mission field and then woke up 4 months later, and like my mind was clear and I was like, what just happened? 4 months? Where was I? What was everything going on? But it was a crazy experience.
People told me I was going to have culture shock, which makes sense because, I mean, Japan, if you're going to have a culture shock, where are you going to have it, right? It kind of looked like America, you know, it's a first world country, it's very developed, there's a lot of technology everywhere. It's just America, but a lot bigger, you know, so if you went to Chicago or New York City or something, it's just Chicago, you know, but everywhere. At least that's how it was when I first got there, because like you already know, I served in Kobe, and Kobe's like the fourth, fifth, sixth, something like that, largest city in Japan. So it's pretty big, you know. It's bigger than, you know, most any city I've ever been in America. So it was just like a lot bigger, and it was just like slightly different. It was almost like when you're dreaming and it's a realistic dream, but things are slightly off. You know, that's kind of how Japan is. It's like, it could be America, but at the same time, it could not be America. And so that was kind of surprising. And like, everything smelled like fish. Like, I feel like I smelled just random whiffs of fish all the time. I'm like, it's gonna be a long 18 months. But like, other than that, I think it was like, I don't know, pretty normal to me. There are like a few little things that were weird or different. Like, they heat their toilet seats, and that was really surprising to me when I first got there. But honestly, like, that's the biggest thing, you know. It wasn't like I was in Africa and everything was like so different, and I don't know how things are in Africa, but you know, it's like it was very different, but at the same time the same. My mission got iPads like right after I left. So I never got to use the iPads, and then our phones were just these like bricks that were like that, and they were bricks. You could throw them against the wall. The elders did it all the time and they wouldn't break. So we didn't use a whole lot of technology, like for what you think of Japan, where it's like all very technologically savvy. I mean, yeah, they do have all of that stuff, but normal people are still normal people, and old guys like in the ward still use flip phones, you know, which, okay, flip phones are making a comeback in Japan, I swear. Like, someone sent me an article about that recently, which I thought was funny because, yeah, a lot of people have flip phones. Like technology isn't cyclical, but it feels like it is in Japan, in that one sense. We weren't ever allowed to go into like electronic stores, and part of the reason I think that is just because it's so loud. Like, there's just stuff blaring at you from every direction. And our mission president's wife at the time, she was just telling us how, you know, she feels like in those kind of environments you can't really feel the spirit because it's so loud. And like, I could see that, because you go into these stores and it's overwhelming how many things there are, and there are 50 million versions of everything that you can buy. Like, you go into Best Buy and yeah, it's loud or something, but there are 10 cameras here that you can choose from at Best Buy, and at these places there are 50 cameras you can choose from and 50 different TVs, and they have every variety of anything you could ever want in that store. And so I did actually go into one a couple times because my camera broke, so I had to buy a new one. But like, it was kind of like get in and get out sort of thing. So like, it's pretty overwhelming how much technology they have, but we didn't really get to use it very often. I only had American companions, so I mean, I think my Japanese probably suffered because of it, but it was nice to be able to talk to someone all the time,